Welcome back, everyone, to the next installment of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. We're in a bad place right now, in case the music didn't tip you off. We got two things to do. Run the hell out of here, or consider other options. We are in a room with an unconscious Kazami, Hammerman, and Sachiko. How about we get the hell out? After brushing the last piece of rope off my body, I leapt to the ground and began searching the room for the best escape route. The huge man may have freed me from my ropes, but I was clearly still in danger. There were still big, indented rope burns on my wrists and ankles, limiting my blood circulation. I wouldn't be moving comfortably for a while yet. The back door of the classroom was wide open. It seemed broken, actually. It looked like the huge man must have busted it in with his hammer when he came attacking. I decided to make a break for it. First, I tried sidestepping past him, doing everything I could to tread lightly and keep my arms outstretched so the blood would flow to them again. But then, I heard the floor creak behind me. I was too late. There was nowhere left to run. The giant hammer struck my right arm, instantly fracturing it severely. The spray of blood from the impact even got in my eyes. That's freaking terrible. I was gonna make a comment about, oh no, even Yuka's not spared, but then I remembered the most uncomfortable ending from the first game. The huge man raised his hammer in the air again. He swung with perfect precision, and I was down, but he wasn't stopping. Both my arms and legs had been completely destroyed. They looked like giant swatted bugs on the desk, just a mess of bloody chunks. Let's get through this as quickly as possible. The last swing hit so hard that it broke the whole desk behind me. Wow! I felt myself rolling painfully onto the ground. When I hit, there was less a thud and more a plop. Bits of my arms and legs were flying everywhere. Ew. And then I realized it wasn't just bits. What was left of my extremities was so damaged that it all literally just snapped off my body. God damn! No, this had to be a nightmare. It couldn't be real, could it? It really was like a swatted bug. I looked and felt the part completely. I didn't want to give up, even though I knew I was doomed. I tried to roll myself toward the door, but that went about as well as you might expect. My head was stuck on something, and waves of pain were shooting through my entire torso. I wasn't going to last much longer. I could see the hammer coming down onto my head. Oh, finally. And then for a split second, I could see in two opposite directions at once as my skull cracked down the middle like a watermelon. Wow. Ugh. I'm glad we got that one over with. Jeez. I think there are only 4 endings to this chapter, meaning there are only 2 more ways to screw up. That was a bad one. Let's go ahead and consider other options next time. That was freaking terrible. I keep thinking, like, Yuka's a little kid, and the game's like, no, I don't give a damn. They're particularly cruel to her. Actually, I can't even say that for Book of Shadows, but it was true in the first game. Let's go ahead and consider other options. My arms and legs were still so numb that I couldn't trust myself to get out of the room safely. I had to think of something else. I had to buy some time. It seemed like the little girl was pulling the huge man's strings, and he didn't really want to hurt me, so maybe I could reason with him? Do you want some headache medicine? He suddenly doubled over and began clawing at his throat, seemingly in a great deal of pain. Reasoning with him really wasn't going to work. He was too unstable, and if it came down to me or the little girl, I was pretty sure I wouldn't win. Oh, so reasoning gave you an extra few seconds? Oh my god. Separate save file in case I'm timed. Okay.
水も出るのかな。やっぱり出ないよね。喉乾いたな。どうしよう。私にできること。
Well, I probably could try to leave, but I don't think it would end very well. Beaker. A beaker, yeah, probably. The hell? Oh, same thing. Oh, it's increasing my darkening if I screw up? Oh, dude. I want that name tag, I'm sorry. No age or gender, obviously. That's obvious. The tag's in the rib cage. Yay! Now I'm curious. Is this a different one? So you're not timed, but you are punished for wrong decisions. I couldn't move any part of my body. I just fallen completely limp and my vision had gone black. I didn't even really mean for the darkening ending until I saw the red. I felt like I was being swallowed up by the darkness and there was nothing I could do to stop it. It was seeping into every part of me. Big brother, help. That has got to be the most lenient wrong ending we've ever gotten. This was by far the tamest wrong ending. Guess it makes up for that last one. Wow, wow. That was easy. So we only have one more wrong. I wasn't even looking for that one. I was looking for the first wrong ending, but that one just kind of came to me. Nice. Okay. Well, now we know I'm not timed. That's good. Okay. Let's try the beaker. Light the Bunsen burner. Sure. Oh, come on. The Bunsen burner didn't work? And that's also... yeah. You're not gonna work. Did that increase the darkening? 30% per try, though. Jeez. So what is around here? Oh. A bottle filled with a transparent liquid. Is that another alcohol lamp? No, hydrochloric acid. I hope this doesn't backfire the way the alcohol lamp did. Oh, jeez. Instinctively, I threw the glass bottle at the huge man with the hammer. I don't know where this is gonna go. Fire did nothing. He flinched and stumbled backwards. His hammer was still raised, however, and smashed into one of the light bulbs in the ceiling, shattering it. The feeling had begun returning to my legs, so I wasted no time. Habitually yelling "excuse me" as I left, I darted through the dark lab, using what I remembered of its layout to avoid obstacles and reach the door. Oh, jeez. Oh, he's gonna get it now. Look at that face. Ugh. あの小娘何度目だ? Yeah, it's been a few. お守りの切れ端を持っているのか。運命が定着していない。 I could hear the sounds of someone else running, just a short distance in front of me. I couldn't make out who it was with any certainty, but I did briefly catch a glimpse of a figure retreating to the darkness, and it looked like...
お兄ちゃん
Ugh, come on.
今のはお兄ちゃんだったよね
You want to call out, dumbass? I took off in pursuit. If that was Big Brother, then I just had to catch up to him.
お兄ちゃん
There we go.
お兄ちゃん
He mustn't have heard me. His pace never slowed, and I saw him disappear around a corner.
行っちゃった早く追いかけなきゃお兄ちゃんお兄ちゃん
And Kizami's just kind of in the science lab. Alright, rockin'! We got a little bit of darkening, but... yeah, but that's the way it goes. Okay, we got the whole place to ourselves. Guess I don't want to go back into the lab, huh? How about... I'm not gonna go corpse searching. This place is huge.
なんか寒くなってきたな
Oh, this again. A wooden shelf near the glass door does not seem to be locked. But there's nothing useful. Now it's no time to search shelves anyway. I gotta find Big Brother. Oh! For real? Oh wow, this game really punishes you this time around. Chapter 6 is rough as hell. No taking it back. No going back. There's no... Torn at this point, cutting off the rest of the sentence. This game is really punishing me, my god. Anything you do up 5%? The corpse was 2%, of course, but wow.
ここにも
Not in here.
ここじゃ見つかっちゃう
Did that? Oh my god. Locked, no way to open it. Jesus. Remain alert when walking home from school. Report suspicious behavior and keep to the main roads. Prevention is the key to safety. Okay. Oh my god. Anything I do. I'm already getting the red haze. Maybe I need to get off the floor. This is ridiculous. Oh.
何の音
Suddenly, my field of vision started going topsy-turvy. Was I falling? It was an earthquake, but there was more than just that. The floor beneath me was moving up and down in time with the quake's left and right motion.
お兄ちゃんお兄ちゃん
I tried putting one hand on the floor for balance and getting back to my feet.
早くお兄ちゃんを追いかけなきゃいけないのに完全に見失っちゃう
I thought I'd done it. I was standing now and had started getting used to the vibrations. As long as I hugged the walls, I could walk. But that all quite literally came crashing down around me soon enough. The wildly shaking floor cracked, then crumbled, and I was free-falling. Oh no. I raised my head and found myself lying on top of a pile of rubble. I wasn't too much worse for the wear, though, all things considered. I looked all around me frantically, but saw nothing even remotely familiar. This was definitely someplace new. And it didn't feel much like a school anymore. The walls and floor were made from packed dirt, with only railroad ties keeping it all together. I kinda was wondering about all that. Huh.
なんかカビ臭い
I knew I was underground. I had to be. It just felt that way. There were no windows anywhere, and based on the smell, there was no ventilation either. No.
なんか息苦しいな そうだ、お兄ちゃん。
Big Brother might have gotten caught off guard by that earthquake too, I thought. He could be down here. It was a big one after all. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he couldn't move.
早く探さなきゃ。
I tried pushing myself up from the pile of rubble, ready to shoot to my feet and continue the search. That didn't last long, however. My hands and feet were still a little numb from the ropes, making it hard to keep my balance. I fell back onto my butt. My underwear was completely waterlogged, like a full sponge. Ew. It squished unpleasantly on the debris, sending a cold chill throughout my entire body. I reached down and felt it, and it was absolutely soaked through. It would take forever for it to dry.
そうだ、私、おもらししちゃってたんだ。
I was so wrapped up in running for my life and chasing after Big Brother, I didn't even notice the wetness, but now I couldn't get it out of my mind. Thanks, neither can I. It's freaking gross. Thank you.
気持ち悪いよ。
Tears were welling up in my eyes. How could I be so pathetic? I forced myself to my feet, doing my best to try to ignoring the squishy sensation. I wouldn't be able to ignore it for long, though. My panties were noticeably heavier now, and the urine they absorbed was practically ice cold. Oh, seriously, could we just... God... I couldn't go on like this. I was going to get a rash or catch pneumonia or something, and every step was going to be its own form of mushy gushy hell. Like, son of a bitch! Shut up! But what could I do? I could take them off, but then what? Carry them with me? Ew. Leave them on the floor for someone else to find? No thanks.
お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
I vote for leaving him on the floor. Just forget this. I swallowed my pride, held back my tears as best I could, and waddled onward.
どこか脱げる場所ないかな。
If memory serves, I think there is. Bingo! Just for the hell of it, though. If memory serves, this room was okay. Alright, nothing around here? Alright.
ここトイレかな。お札も貼ってないし。
The only bathrooms I'd seen up to this point were unusable. Charms of the door mysteriously sealing the room shut, bodies hanging in the stalls, a gaping hole where the stall should be. Remember that one? But this looked to be a completely normal bathroom. Certainly the most normal I'd seen since getting stuck in this place anyway. Yay! So can I go in, please? I am in. So could I... what? Did this... help me? Oh! I was kind of wondering about that. Alright. Loose piece of wood. Oh, sure.
何かの役に立つかも。
Piece of wood. It's not even like a plank.
中に入れるのかな。
I tried pulling on one of the wooden stall doors.
誰かいますか？
Close the goddamn door! I listened carefully for any hint of a response, even going so far as to hold my breath.
でも返事をされても怖いよね。
But there wasn't a single sound to be heard. The entire room was dead silent. The walls are made from packed dirt, after all, and there was a lot of moisture in the air. Effectively, this whole place was naturally soundproofed.
よし、誰もいないみたい。あ、
I backed away from the stall slightly and almost tripped over a fairly sizable crack in the ground, about 5 centimeters wide and 1 centimeter thick.
ここに隠してもいいかな。よいしょ。
Finally, I was able to get out of those waterlogged panties. Despite being alone, I still crouched down and removed them as discreetly as I could. I then stuffed them tightly into the crack I discovered.
よいしょ、よいしょ。全部入らないや。布がはみ出ちゃう。
Whatever.
もっと大きく広げられればいいんだけど。
Guess I better go searching the whole dungeon for a better space then, right?
どうしよう。 の木で隙間を大きくすれば。
Yuka, you're a genius. Thank God for that piece of wood. This is what I use it for. Yay!
ゆかのこんな姿、お兄ちゃんに見られなくてよかった。どうか誰にも見つかりませんように。特にお兄ちゃんには。
Not that Big Brother would be likely to wander into a girl's bathroom. Depends on what the player is doing, really. But it was possible given the circumstances. So just to be safe, I figured it couldn't hurt to pray that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
でももうちょっと奥に詰めておこう
Oh my god. Can I go somewhere else?
誰かに見つかったら恥ずかしいもんね。よし。
My underwear was now totally buried and out of sight. There was no way anyone could come across it even if they didn't know it was there. But wait! If I bury them still deeper... Satisfied, I stood up.
スースーしてやだな。でも濡れたまま履いてたらもっと気持ち悪いし。
My god, Big Brother's here.
さっきから地震ばかり。ここ大丈夫かな。さっきよりも古い建物だけど。
I peeked my head out from the bathroom and looked around.
誰もいないよね。お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん。
I love the logic behind that. Oh crap, is someone here? No, good. Okay, I'm gonna make my position known then. Her voice echoed a lot louder than I was expecting. Her voice, my voice. It actually surprised me, considering the wet dirt walls. I didn't think sound would travel that far.
怖いよ。他にお兄ちゃんの友達とか誰かいれば。臭い。手洗いたいな。
Let's go searching for a bathroom with a working tap, am I right? I began walking through the hall once again, this time a bit slower and more unevenly due to exhaustion. It should be a bit more slowly, excuse me. Oh, we're back. Alright, well, whoop, give that a quick save. Ba-boom! Mission complete, baby. We found a bathroom and it works. So, where do I go from here? I'll try the boys' room. I don't have high hopes. Huh? Oh, sealed. No way to open it. Alright. Okay. Alright, well, that's easy. Storehouse. Oh, they're keeping it easy for me. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna hold off on that one. Neither place is really pleasant. But I'll rather go to the body pool than the freaking death room, even though it's covered with bodies. Death room never ends well for anybody. I'm sorry. The door to this particular room was shuddering ever so slightly, as if there were a breeze blowing against it gently from inside. Slowly and hesitantly, I put both hands on the doorknob and started to turn. Open door, see this, what do? As soon as the door opened even a crack, a powerful, horrible stench slammed into my face and twisted around my nasal cavities like a jet of water. What a description. I was instantly feeling nauseous and lightheaded, as if I were suddenly deprived of oxygen. Holding my nose, I stepped back into the room and crept over toward the source of the noise. If there were water here, maybe I could wash my hands, I thought. Well, there's liquid here anyway.
お水どこ
You know, Lady Macbeth washed her hands to get the blood out. My extreme thirst came back full force as well. Clean water was the greatest thing I could possibly find right now. I accidentally kicked over a bucket, spilling its contents onto the ground in front of me. Ew. Countless flies immediately flew out from the overturned bucket and began swarming all around me. Their buzzing wings sounded right up against my ears as if they were attacking me. You ever have that? That's really, really annoying. I let go of my nose and began flailing my arms wildly, attempting in vain to drive them away.
前が見えないよ
As I haphazardly stumbled forward, I found my foot splashing in shallow liquid. Mere moments later, my hand came in contact with the wall and brushed against a switch. I heard a faint clicking sound, and then... Yup. The lights blinked on, and I got a clear look at the room I was standing in. And they call the other room the death room?
何ここ死体
A large portion of the floor had been dug out into something resembling a pool, which was filled with stagnant, discolored water and dismembered bodies. The bodies were decomposing a lot faster than they naturally would, on account of the wetness. Most of them had swarms of maggots instead of faces. Several bodies had actually washed up on the ground outside the pool as well. Those few that still had limbs looked like they maybe lose them at any moment. Their torsos were all swollen and black, and everything else was bone white.
なんで死体がこんなに集まって
The closest body was spurting a sappy mucus from its nose and mouth and staring at me with an ugly, mean expression. The thick fluid coming out of it was reddish-brown in color and seemed to be a disgusting mixture of blood and dead bugs. Wow!
何の音
Some sort of huge door high along the top of the wall opened up, and I could clearly feel a breeze blowing into the room. It was a trash chute?
ここを登っていけば元の場所に戻れるかな
Yeah, that's where you want to be.
今度は何の音何か聞こえる近づいてくる
Here's a question. Someone Yuka knows, or a student she doesn't know? I was afraid of what might be coming through that hole, so I put some distance between it and myself. Something heavy fell from above and splashed into the pool, spraying my face with rotten, stagnant water.
死体死体
It hurts? The body that had just fallen into the pool of water was wearing a school uniform. It sounded like this person's still talking, saying like, oh, it hurts. Oh my god. As soon as it touched the liquid, it began bubbling and melting into it, as if it were a bag of ingredients tossed into a stew pot. One of the poor victim's lungs floated to the surface, giving the whole scene even more of a sick, soup-like appearance. I dried my wet foot on a dry part of the ground for a second or two, then made a dash for the door. Ugh. As soon as I was back out in the hall, I fell to my knees in shock. I couldn't even move. The smell of death and decay was still sticking to me, and still trying to snake its way into my nose. It was all I could do not to throw up on the spot. I hadn't eaten anything for hours, so I'm not even sure what I would have actually thrown up, but I still felt like I had to, more strongly than ever before. Maybe it would have been best just to let it come out. I'm sure I would have felt better afterward. But I honestly didn't want to see my own vomit right now, not after all the other disgusting things I'd seen. I had had enough.
ことになっちゃったの。
At times like this especially, I really long for my big brother. If only he were here with me. I cried out for him as if in prayer.
お兄ちゃん、助けて。助けて。動けないの。誰かいるの？
Unbelievable.
誰かいるの？あ、苦しいよ。
Screw you. There was a little girl here with her arm outstretched, begging for help. I rushed over to her side.
どうしたの？大丈夫？
She was faintly glowing.
この子、幽霊？お腹が苦しいの。お胸が熱いよ。とっても辛そう。ユカにできることは。ここ、怪我はしてないみたいだけど、痛むの？痛いよ。
All I could do for her was offer physical comfort. If I rubbed her back, maybe she'd feel better.
ありがとう。ごめんね。こんなことしかできなくて。ちょっと楽になったの。そう？よかった。
The girl grimaced again as if she were experiencing some new pain all of a sudden.
まだ無理しない方がいいよ。ね？うん。あなたもここに迷い込んだの？わかんない。気がついたらここで倒れてたの。気がついたらずっと寂しかった。そっか、一人で寂しかったね。よく頑張ったね。
I gently brushed my hand against the little girl's face, wiping away her tears. I'd only just met her, but I already really felt for her. She had it a lot worse than I did. In life, maybe.
あなた、お名前は？幸子。幸子。幸子ちゃんっていうのね。うん。私はゆかだよ。持田ゆか。ゆか？ゆかお姉ちゃん？
Oh man, she's laying this on thick.
お姉ちゃん？お姉ちゃんか。
I'm cool with being a big sister. I hate being a little sister. To that guy.
なんか、お姉ちゃんって呼ばれると照れちゃうなって。
I took Sachiko's tiny little hand in my own and pulled her to her feet.
よし、立てるね。
Sachiko's hand was so thin and light compared to my own. Not just light, it almost felt like it was completely weightless.
やっぱり幽霊なんだ。
Sachiko noticed me staring at her, and I must have had quite a look on my face. This seemed to bother her, so I did my best to force a smile. I'm sure she was worried I'd leave her all by herself again, and I wanted to make sure she knew I was here for her.
どうしたのお姉ちゃん。ちょっと考え事してて。ごめんなさい。
Sachiko lowered her head and looked like she was about to cry.
どうして謝るの？幸子、多分幽霊だから。
Oh, that's interesting.
お姉ちゃんと違うから怖がらせちゃってごめんなさい。よかったらこんな小さい子を不安にさせるなんて。
I took Sachiko's hand in both of mine, turning to face her and ducking down a little so our eyes were level.
大丈夫だよ。幽霊は怖いけど、なんだかあなたは怖くない気がするの。
Oh, we'll learn to fix that little mistake later.
怖くない？本当に？幸子ちゃんは大丈夫。 ん行っちゃうの？
That's a tough question. I did have to think for a moment since I knew I couldn't take a ghost with me very far, but in the end I also knew I couldn't just leave her.
幸子ちゃんも一緒にゆかのお兄ちゃんを探してくれる？お兄ちゃん？うん、すっごく頼りになるの。きっと幸子ちゃんにも優しくしてくれるよ。
Yeah, what was his name? Yuya Kisami? Her head was still down, but her eyes were peeking up at me. She looked nervous, but for the first time since we started talking, she also looked hopeful.
幸子も一緒に行っていいの？うん、もう一人じゃないよ。ゆかが、お姉ちゃんがそばにいるからね。
Ugh. This is the second time in the game I've seen that face, and it is so weird. Honestly, I was lonely too. I probably wanted her with me just as badly as she wanted someone with her. Ghost or no.
さあ、行こう、幸子ちゃん。
I turned to head back down the hall, but was stopped by Sachiko tugging at my uniform. She was wearing a forced smile on her face, but still looked uneasy. Wow, this is weird.
私の言うこと聞く？言うことって？
What was she gonna tell me to do? I was so surprised by the question, I wasn't sure how to best respond, but the longer I thought about it, the more uneasy she looked, so...
お姉ちゃんね、あなたのお話なら聞くよ。
That's a pretty good answer.
本当？うん、だから何でも話してね。
God, this is so freaking weird seeing that face. There was clearly something specific she had in mind, but I wasn't going to push her about it. She'd asked me when she was ready. She seemed satisfied with my answer and let go of my uniform, and so, hand in hand, we continued down the hall in search of my big brother. No way! There were earlier moments where we were playing as a different character and Sachiko led us to a room, but Sachiko just straight up joined our party. What the hell? Although, there is a bit of bad news. See, unless Satoshi is hiding in some of these random hallways here, actually the storehouse looks open. That's a little weird, actually. But the only room we haven't attempted to check yet is the death room, so I don't have very high hopes for this, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, I have to stop the installment. Well, we certainly made a lot of progress today, didn't we? We started an actual gameplay portion of Chapter 6, and we got 2 of the 3 possible wrong endings with Yuka. We managed to escape our imminent trap, but we're trapped in the underground bomb shelter now, and I really don't know where the exit is. I mean, we got there through the principal's room in the first game, but so far there has been no way out of this basement. So I have no clue where this is going to go. At all. Sachiko joined our freaking party. What? So we're going to have to see what this is going to amount to. Until next time, everyone.